200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
The top HBCU programs in the nation come to Montgomery, Alabama's Riverwalk Stadium this May 11th through 14th for the Black College World Series. The best Black college baseball teams in the NCAA Division II and the NAIA will battle for Black baseball's ultimate prize. Games will be streamed live at www.mybcsn.net. Tickets are available now online at www.blackcollegechampionships.com.
Bounty versus the old family dish towel. Drying with a fresh sheet of Bounty leaves your hands cleaner than a used dish towel that can carry and redistribute food residue. So ditch the dish towel for better hand hygiene. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes. Never not working. Never not working. Never ever not working. Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield, never not working.
Every time I open one of these bottles, I hear trumpets and big band music. The Creole seasoning is a sodium-free and sugar-free blend that's versatile enough to put on anything. One of the first blends I developed more than 8 years ago, the Creole seasoning has an unmistakable aroma, a bold flavor, and a little heat for character.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
The top HBCU programs in the nation come to Montgomery, Alabama's Riverwalk Stadium this May 11th through 14th for the Black College World Series. The best Black college baseball teams in the NCAA Division II and the NAIA will battle for Black baseball's ultimate prize. Games will be streamed live at www.mybcsn.net. Tickets are available now online at www.blackcollegechampionships.com.
Bounty versus the old family dish towel. Drying with a fresh sheet of Bounty leaves your hands cleaner than a used dish towel that can carry and redistribute food residue. So ditch the dish towel for better hand hygiene. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes. Never not working. Never not working. Never ever not working. Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield, never not working.
Every time I open one of these bottles, I hear trumpets and big band music. The Creole seasoning is a sodium-free and sugar-free blend that's versatile enough to put on anything. One of the first blends I developed more than 8 years ago, the Creole seasoning has an unmistakable aroma, a bold flavor, and a little heat for character.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media.
But my beats, they are hard.
Okay, hello, good evening. Welcome to a live watch party, BCSN Game Time. This is the duo from the SportsWrap. I'm Brian Fulford. That's AD Drew below. We got a live watch party going on as we watch Talladega Colleges bid to win a national championship in the NAIA for the first time since Texas Southern won it back in 1977. And as we if you're just tuning in, you didn't miss anything. The first 2:15, nobody scored. Everybody feeling each other out. 1 point on the board off of free throws. So that is what we have right now in this championship game.
That free throw was by Daryl Baker, Brian.
No, that was Loyola. Loyola made that free throw.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it wasn't Baker. We got the first 2 points of the game scored for Talladega.
Yeah, excuse me. That was Terry Smith who hit the who had the points for Loyola.
Yeah, we're not going to try to look. We're going to be honest. We're not going to try to play by play here. So as we watch this thing and set, we got a lot of different storylines that we can watch and talk about here in this ball game. If we can try to find the stats, that's another thing I'm trying to see if I can find. I thought I had it pulled up. Normally, the box score to keep track of the live stats in this ball game.
I've got them pulled up if you need them, Brian. If you need something on the off of them.
Okay. If you want to send that to me as best as you can. Okay. So let's set the underlying storylines here and appreciate you guys if you're watching us right now. Let's make sure, I want to make sure the tweet went out about the live watch party. Let's make sure that went out. I want to make sure that information went out because there might be some people who want to watch. That ball went in?
Yes, it did.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'm like, interesting. I didn't think it went in. I saw him put a little jelly on it. I thought it rolled off the front of the
apparently
rim.
didn't. Apparently
okay,
didn't.
Yeah,
I
didn't think it went in. Mr. Daryl Baker there. Daryl, not only an All-American, but also a first-team All-SSAC. It's kind of interesting on the first-team All-Conference. Not only was Daryl Baker on that first-team All-SSAC, Southern States Athletic Conference, but also was Cam Potts. Interestingly enough, Loyola had 3 players on that squad: Brandon Davis, Miles Burns, and Zach Reitzel. Sixth man of the year went to Edwin Lewis, and look, nobody was bigger in the semifinals or the Fab Four last night than Edwin. I believe Edwin in overtime hit 2 huge 3-pointers in overtime to push Talladega to the 78-77 overtime win. Now, Drew, I tweeted out some highlights earlier, but I got to admit, man, the NAIA is lacking in terms of its highlights. I mean, we haven't seen very many highlights or highlight packages. What's your view on that? I mean, because the listening or reading the descriptions of that game and how it came down at the end, my God, that would have been a highlight worth seeing.
It would have, but the NAIA, without the revenue that the NCAA gets from their particular games, is trying to maximize everything they can and force you to pay the $9.99 per day, or I believe the whole tournament pass was about $34.99, somewhere along those lines. So they're trying to do their best to get as much revenue as they can out of this particular event. And this is the signature event for the NAIA that's held annually in Kansas City, Missouri.
Yeah. Just real quick, checking with our producer in the background, can you confirm whether we actually did send out the tweet? I know, want to make sure that actually went out from our BCSN page. All right, so all right, I'll make sure to get that sent out, folks, here in just a moment. In 1,000 words, my producer said no.
Boy, if y'all can hear the audio that we get in our ear.
11-9 is a score. Now, Drew, let people know when the the TV timeouts, I believe, and how are they set up in the NAIA level? I would imagine they're probably going to be very similar to the NCAA, where you have the under 14 coming up here.
Well, it depends. If they doesn't look like they're playing normal NCAA in the
Yeah, but I think we got a
NAIA.
TV timeout coming out. We got a TV timeout coming up.
Yes, we do
I'm
have
just looking at
a
the video
BBA
package,
timeout.
TV timeout. All right, so let's step away
Yeah.
from the TV timeout right now, and we'll stay here. Tip, tip, tip. All right, my producer didn't catch that, so we're
Facebook.com/empowerment.resources and Instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
It's now.
We're back to live action.
okay. All right, back to live action here on the BCSN Watch Party. Talladega trailing Loyola 11-9 right now. 12:56 remaining. Now my stats sheet. Yeah, so the stats window is just a little bit ahead of the broadcast. So we'll try to stay on point here. For folks who are watching, let's kind of set up this matchup, Drew, just to kind of let people know. Both of these schools are out of the Southern States Athletic Conference, a conference in which they had four teams go into the NAIA tournament, right? And not only
and three of those teams were ranked.
Those teams were, Drew, just let people know who those teams were.
Obviously, Loyola, I believe they went into the tournament as the number one team in the nation. Talladega was 6. Faulkner, I believe, was in the teens, and Stillman was receiving votes. 2 of those 4 are HBCUs, and Talladega is their first season in the Southern States Conference, having moved over from the Gulf Coast Athletic Conference.
Right, they were in the GCAC last year. So the Southern States went 13-2 as a conference, entering the title game against other conferences. The league is 12-1 in postseason, with that loss coming to a national semifinalist on their home court. And I believe they were referring to Xavier, which lost to Thomas More. Or not Xavier, Stillman. I think Stillman lost to Thomas More.
Correct.
Yeah. So that's who they're referring to. And Thomas More, that's who Talladega beat last night in this contest.
Yeah, that's a dangerous pass.
Again, the familiarity, it'll be interesting to see what level of physicality they allow in the ball game between two teams who know each other. You know what I'm saying? That'll be very interesting to see what they allow and what they don't allow. Talladega leads the NAIA in points allowed per game, holding opponents to 58.8 a game. They're also third in field goal percentage defense, with opponents shooting 38%. And I got to say, you know, in the first two games of this round of 16 in Kansas City, they held their opponents to like 3 of 20 and 4 of 21 from the 3-point line in those first two ball games. Now, I think last night, Thomas More may have shot a little bit better from behind the arc. And as you see, Loyola's playing a bit of a 1-3-1. Drew, how do you like to play that 1-3-1 against that 1-3-1 from an offensive perspective? Because I know coaches like to play it in a number of different ways. What's your main philosophy?
Well, when I'm playing against a 1-3-1, obviously there's the hole in the 1-3-1 from the corner. You want to try to get shooters in both corners, make that bottom person chase. You know, I call him the rabbit, because that person has to work harder than anyone else. And if you can get them to chase to the corner and spread the ball and get a quick ball reversal, then that's where you're going to get your open jump shots at. You're not going to get as much from the top and the wing against a 1-3-1.
Now, see, for me, the way I like to play the 1-3-1, the way I like to teach it, I like to kind of play an offensive 2-1-2, where I have what I call the two guards. I'll basically call it two guard, and looks like they're in a commercial break right at the moment. So we're going to stay here and kind of analyze this 1-3-1 that they're playing. I kind of like to play what I call a two guard, but offensively, if you think about it as a two guards, one man in the middle with the two guards either in the corners or on the short corner, kind of a foot or two inside the 3-point line. And my thought is, you know, the trap is coming from the top and the wing. I like to always have a man in the middle against a 1-3-1. You know, push the ball to a sideline and sort of create a triangle between the ball handler, the man in the middle, and that baseline ball side, whether it be your shooter or forward. You know what I'm saying? So yes. Now you can move the ball, and I always say, if you can get the ball to the middle, turn and attack. Now, you know, a lot of coaches, and I think you saw here with Talladega, they like to kind of run, instead of putting that man in the middle of the floor, they'll run that man, if you see him down on the low block, and then when the ball does hit the corner, you know, that's when it opens up an opportunity to get the ball inside, or they try to leave some space for the guard. But I feel like when you don't give your top two guards, a relief with a man in the middle, you put a lot of pressure on those guards, and you can solve by a couple of those passes. It makes it real tough if your guys don't make good passes in those two top positions.
Well, by putting the man in the middle, Brian, especially on that low block, it has a tendency to occupy the chaser in the 1-3-1, and it's going to force that person who's on that wing, ball side wing, to have to make some decisions. Does he go play that man in the corner? If he goes play that man in the corner, now who's responsible for the wing? So I understand putting that man in the that's a kick ball right there. I understand putting the man in the low block, because it really occupies that chase man and creates vulnerable holes. And if you're able to get the ball to the middle, especially around the elbow area, then the backside is wide open. If you have somebody diving to the basket, you're definitely going to get a lot of easier opportunities from the backside.
Notice Loyola picked up there in the full court pressure.
Great dump right there. That's why you attack a fast break right there, Brian. Excuse me. That's how you attack a press.
Yeah, weak side. At this point in the season, you can't be losing track of weak side help. You really can't. Wide open.
Took him long enough to pass the ball up there. Well, the pass should have occurred earlier. The guard put the ball down without even looking up court. If we go back and if they're going to show back and show that, let's see if they go back and show that that foul right there. Yeah, see that ball should have already been in his hand. That's an and one if that ball is up there a half a beat faster.
Occur.
Yeah, that ball should have never touched the ground, but it did. So, it's very fortunate that he did foul him because that could have easily been a block. Probably like, a lane violation.
Like violation on the shooter. Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
it's got to be on him.
You can't be the first. It's pretty hard to be the first. I know. You're the first person to touch the ball. That's usually not how that works. It usually doesn't work out that way.
Yeah, you do. As a shooter, when you release it that shot is not going to go. You're just trying to make up for it, get yourself in position for an offensive rebound. But
all right, so
the most fundamental thing on that, Brian, no one boxed out the shooter because he was actually able to get straight into the lane.
True. There's a good opportunity there for Talladega, an unforced error by Loyola. And Loyola now changing up their defenses. Now they're picking up man-to-man. Good recognition there by Talladega.
Yeah. I was going to say, you see that frequently out of timeouts, Brian. I know I do it all the time when I'm coaching. I'm going to change it up, even if it's just for one possession coming out of a timeout, just to just to give the other team something to think about.
Gervais Green is at the line. Free throws. We talk about the importance of championship games and making free throws. The team that makes free throws, especially when you get to the second half, that's the team that usually finds W's.
Talladega is now 5 of 8 from the charity stripe. Got away with the travel right there. I don't know if you can see him shuffling his feet, trying to get behind the arc.
How often is that missed by officials, Drew? I feel like watching the feet is like, you know what? It's funny. I went to one tournament one time, and the officials made an emphasis, or they were really emphatic about watching the shuffling of feet. It happened in a tournament in Atlanta, in the suburbs of Atlanta, Georgia. But most of the time, most officials aren't paying attention to the feet until you bring it up to them.
Yeah, well, the big thing is if you really slow down the step back three that's become so popular, probably about 70% of the time it's a travel. But people aren't calling it like they should. And it's something that you could teach at the high school level, and you could teach it without the travel, but it takes a skill set. They can't pretend like they're watching James Harden or Steph Curry when they're in the gym.
That ball's going to stay down on that end of the floor for Talladega. Just to kind of reset for people, a little bit of the history here between these two teams. Loyola comes into the contest ranked number 2 in the NAIA in scoring, averaging 89.8 points a game, shooting 49% from the field. So you really have the nation's top offense going up against the nation's top defense.
Definitely a block.
Block or charge, Drew? That was
definitely a block. Yeah, he still had established himself. He was still sliding on parallel plane. You know, you've got to beat the offensive player to the spot. You've got to be at that spot before the offensive player takes off, and he was still sliding. Got subs coming in. We'll see if we can reset the lineups for at least for Talladega. On the floor for Talladega, you got Lewis, Bryce, Green, Reese, and Thomas.
Now it looks like Loyola has switched up to a 1-2-2 possibly. Oh, now they move into a 2-3.
Yeah, 2-3 on the out of bounds.
2-3.
Pretty common right there.
But let's see if they more of a matchup here. A lot of misses at the rim. Got to finish those. Got to finish those when you're in the paint. I'm not sure. Who would you say the pace of this game favors right now?
Right now, it looks like it's favored Loyola, definitely. Up and down. I mean, this is a fast-paced shooting game. Talladega's fired up a lot of threes, which we know they fire up a number of threes, but
Chris Wright said that this game, and even he was in talking about the game yesterday, was going to be about toughness, and that's kind of what this one is going to be about as well. Let's step away. Let's take a break, Drew, as they're going to a break as well. You're watching the BCSN Watch Party on the Black College Sports Network.
Never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
The top HBCU programs in the nation come to Montgomery, Alabama's Riverwalk Stadium this May 11th through 14th for the Black College World Series. The best Black college baseball teams in the NCAA Division II and the NAIA will battle for Black baseball's ultimate pride. Games will be streamed live at www.mybcsn.net. Tickets are available now online at www.blackcollegechampionships.com.
Here, the NAIA National Championship featuring Talladega College against their Southern States Athletic Conference rival Loyola of Louisiana. Shout out to those of you watching us on YouTube, Mary 305, Sam Smith, Karen Griffin, Lawrence Q, them boys. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Might have some other folks there on Facebook as well. If you're watching us on Twitter, come on into the YouTube chats. Let us know. Yeah, I'd say that's a clean three. What do you think? What do you say, Drew? What do you think? I think that's clean.
Yeah, that's clean. Let's put it to you like this. That's one of those that you can't. I wouldn't change it one way or the other. If it was called a 3 on the floor, I would leave it a 3. If it was called a 2, I would leave it a 2 because that's so close. Because you really can't see daylight, but Looks like they haven't put any a point on the board for it, so I guess they left it as it was. And I think it was called a 3 on the floor, correct, Brian?
Yes.
Okay, so they did adjust it. Second free throw is up and good.
Eight-point contest now. You wanted to let's see, they're in that 1-3-1. Now notice how they put that man in the middle now against that 1-3-1. Got to go back up with that.
And that's what the 1-3-1 leaves you vulnerable to is offensive rebounder, because you don't have anyone to necessarily box out. Way to step in to take the position. Now you saw the difference in that one, Brian, where he was able to hit the offensive player to the spot.
100%. 23 is Zach Reitzel. That young man is a player. Reitzel, in the first contest between these two teams, Reitzel scored 33 points, had 13 rebounds. Daryl Baker led Talladega with 20 points on 7 of 13 shooting. Loyola won that game 90-82 in overtime. The second matchup, also Reitzel and Baker again went at it. Reitzel dropped 21 and 13. Baker scored 18. Unfortunately, Loyola won that one by 6. So those were the two regular season matchups. And I think those two contests were what, maybe a week apart from each other, Drew, if I recall?
At the end of the season, one of them was regularly scheduled. One of them was a makeup because of.
So it might have been back to back. Those games might have been just back to back.
Yeah, all I remember is Loyola, Steelman and Talladega played Loyola back to back a couple of times.
That was a big possession there, Loyola. For Talladega, momentum is shifted over to Loyola right now with a 10-point lead. Feels like Talladega is only getting jump shots and they're not able to convert their baskets in the paint.
Yeah, and Talladega's defense is not what we're used to seeing out of Talladega. You know, they are number one in the conference in defense.
Bad turnover right there off the miss. You know, what I see Talladega doing right now is I see guys doing a lot of standing. And that's another miss inside the paint. And what I mean by that is every pass, you've got to jump to the ball on everything. When you're dealing with an aggressive team like Loyola, ooh, that's a tough shot. Got to get a timeout right there. Yeah. All right. Up 15. This is Loyola, number one team in the country for a reason. Team is tough. Yeah, and I bet you anything, Coach Wright is telling his guys, we've got to be sharper. Like, you can't give a guy that much space. You can't let him have that uncontested jump shot. Baker is a heck of a defender and a heck of a player, but he was real casual and coming off of that screen. I mean, he wasn't prepared, and good shooters will shoot. Good shooters will be ready. Baker, I mean, I know that's what Coach Wright is telling guys. We're being careless with the inbound passes. You just gotta survive the run right now. But the only way you survive this run, you got to execute. You got to almost be perfect right now. You can't make mistakes. You can't make careless plays with the ball.
Yeah, and if you caught the Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab before we started this watch party, both Charles and Mike noted that maybe Loyola is in Talladega's head. And with Loyola jumping out to this lead right here, once again, baby, it's like, here we go again. We can't play with these guys.
Yeah, it's too early. I heard Mike say that, but I mean, I think right now this is an execution issue. The sad part is, can you get Loyola to make mistakes? They don't seem like the team that makes very many mistakes. And so with that being said, Talladega has to play. I mean, Talladega's a good team, but they have to play perfect, or they have to play to a point where they force Loyola into making some mistakes. Got to make that shot.
Talladega
that was a jump shot.
Looking to do what Georgetown did a few years ago. Excuse me, Villanova did to Georgetown. Where Villanova did to Georgetown, losing the 3 and then winning the ultimate one.
Is that what happened, really?
Yeah. The year when Villanova won the national championship in 1985, Georgetown swept them during the regular season, defeated them in the Big East tournament. But Villanova, that was the perfect game, as they called it, if you remember that, Brian.
Okay, 4:16 to play. What's your mindset here, Coach? You're down, 15 points? Where are you trying to get this game by halftime?
Single digits. That's your first goal. If you get to the single digits, that is what you want to do. And for Reuben Hogan, yes, this is the Loyola that is in New Orleans. So I don't know if you remember, Brian, Loyola used to be a member of the Gulf Coast Athletic Conference, I believe, when the Gulf Coast Athletic Conference was formed back in the 80s.
Uh-huh. A few in-game statistics here. Obviously, you can look at the score and just know how bad it is. Talladega shooting 5 of 26 from the field, 2 of 15 from the three-point arc. That's too easy. Too easy. Loyola's 50% from the field, 12 of 24, 5 of 12 from the three-point arc, doubling up Talladega right now as they have a 17-point lead. Man, you got to be – here's the good thing. When you're shooting this bad, there's always a second half, right? There's a second half for
It's not always a good thing. It's not always a good thing.
You can't shoot worse. I don't know. Can you shoot worse? That's where I was going with that. I'm hoping you can't shoot worse than what you shot in the first half. Look at that. Uncontested. Guys have got to sprint back. Guys have got to sprint back. All right, let's step away for a quick minute. Come back. You're watching the BCSN Game Time Watch Party. Be back in a moment.
Bounty versus the old family dish towel. Drying with a fresh sheet of Bounty leaves your hands cleaner than a used dish towel that can carry and redistribute food residue. So ditch the dish towel for better hand hygiene. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes. Never not working. Ever not working. Never, ever not working. Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield, never not working.
Every time I open one of these bottles, I hear trumpets and big band music. The Creole seasoning is a sodium-free and sugar-free blend that's versatile enough to put on anything. One of the first blends I developed more than 8 years ago, the Creole seasoning has an unmistakable aroma, a bold flavor, and a little heat for character.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources.
Oh, my goodness. Look who the famous alumni of Talladega College is. Wow.
I was just getting ready to see that. How many people knew that Deion Sanders had his degree from Talladega College?
Man.
I did, but how many other people knew that?
Yeah. Well, good for Talladega. Good for Talladega, man. I tell you. At one point, Lee DeForest, and I'll admit I do not know who Lee DeForest is. I'm going to go Google search that right now. But at one point, Lee DeForest may have claimed to be the famous alumni. Any other famous alumni from Talladega? You guys out there in the chat rooms, let's hear them. I mean, got to be somebody else other than Dion. That's funny. Well, nearly 20 now. Talladega needs a perfect, almost a perfect 3 minutes here at the end of the half. There's a bucket. That's the first bucket in a while, Drew, I would say. Probably, let me see if I can go back and see when's the last time in between buckets.
You talk about alumni, Brian. Dr. William R. Harvey, president at Hampton, is a Dega alumnus.
Really? Okay. So that was almost a 7-minute stretch where Talladega did not score a basket. From about the 9:09 mark up until 2:55, and so now they've dropped in a couple of baskets in a row. So I mean that was a long stretch, and that just to kind of put where to get, it was a 6-point ball game when they scored that bucket at 9:09. Now look at it. So I mean we're talking that was a a 13-0 run by Loyola.
At this point, if you're Dega, you just want buckets and stops right now, just to get your mindset back into the proper frame.
I don't like that shot.
To go into halftime with a little confidence.
See, you got to be there to rebound. Somebody's got to be there to rebound. Another offensive rebound. But you can't give those. You can't give those up. There's 2 offensive rebounds. 3 of them.
Make that
3 of them. God.
But Loyola has out rebounded Talladega in every game that they have played, and that's been the largest difference. If you have one glaring stat that has separated Loyola from Dega, it has been rebounding.
Yeah. Well, you know that. I mean, I know the players from Talladega know that. But knowing that should probably heighten up your senses, right?
You would think, but if it's not in your DNA, it's not in your DNA. And right now, Brian, looks like Talladega is waiting on everyone else on the team to rebound. And when
I like the way you said that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I say when you got everybody else standing around waiting on the next person to get the rebound, what tends to happen is no one gets the rebound.
What you just said, it's not in your DNA. It's not in their DNA. I mean, we as coaches, damn, God bless it. That's a tough one.
That's a stupid foul. That's a frustration foul.
Well, he just checked him with the shoulder. I mean, Reitzel gave a little extra head flop or whatever, but that was really a check, a shoulder check. But you talked about we as coaches, we stress over so many things that we want our guys to be, but sometimes you have to know what your guys are and are not. And so, if being that type of dog on the glass is not who your team is, sadly, you have to sort of find a way around that. You have to work around that.
You don't need the entire team to be the dogs on the board, but you have to be able to put one or two players out there who are willing to go to do the simple things, to box out when they get boxed out, to use a swim move or to fight to get to the ball, to keep the ball alive. You don't necessarily need Dennis Rodman, but you at least need a Horace Grant. Two seconds.
Cameron.
Oh,
Yeah, Cameron Bryce is ice cold in that corner over there. He's 2 of 7 from the arc in the game. But man, and that corner has been unkind to him. Well,
down 15 at the half, Brian. Let's go in and
down
make some
15 at the
halftime
half.
adjustments.
Yeah, anything's possible. Let's take a break, come back and talk about what kind of things can be done in the second half. Maybe we'll get some callers in. Maybe we can talk to some people. You guys let us know what you're seeing as you're watching this. So our score right now, Talladega's down 36-21, 15 points. Anything's possible. Anything is possible, to quote the great Kevin Garnett. So let's go, Talladega. Let's go. You're watching the BCSN Game Time Watch Party. We'll be back in just a moment.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
The top HBCU programs in the nation come to Montgomery, Alabama's Riverwalk Stadium this May 11th through 14th for the Black College World Series. The best Black college baseball teams in the NCAA Division II and the NAIA will battle for Black baseball's ultimate pride. Games will be streamed live at www.mybcsn.net. Tickets are available now online at www.blackcollegechampionships.com.
Bounty versus the old family dish towel. Drying with a fresh sheet of Bounty leaves your hands cleaner than a used dish towel that can carry and redistribute food residue. So ditch the dish towel for better hand hygiene. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes. Never not working. Ever not working. Never ever not working. Head and Shoulder Scalp Shield. Never not working.
Every time I open one of these bottles, I hear trumpets and big band music. The Creole seasoning is a sodium-free and sugar-free blend that's versatile enough to put on anything. One of the first blends I developed more than 8 years ago, the Creole seasoning has an unmistakable aroma, a bold flavor, and a little heat for character.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
Okay, welcome back to the BCSN Game Time Watch Party here. Talladega and Loyola in the NAIA National Championship game. Brian Fulford and A.D. Drew here. Not looking good for Talladega College right now, trailing 36-21. And so, as Lawrence Q says, yeah, it's getting out of hand. But that's why they played two halves, Lawrence. We're not giving up hope. You know, we got to keep the faith. These first 5-10 minutes, mean all the, they mean the world. We saw Jackson State's women trail by as much as 17 very early in the third quarter, which would be the equivalent of the first 2 to 3 minutes of this second half. And all they did was come back and had a lead up 10 going into the last 7-8 minutes of the ball game. So momentum can switch in a hurry. Drew, go through some of the stats that have stood out for you. While you're doing that, I'm going to do Karen Griffin sent us some famous alumni, because I'm going to take issue with the list that ESPN just dropped out there for everyone to see. But I appreciate Karen for dropping some names.
They just had an intern who pulled up a name or two at ESPN.
Exactly. That's exactly what happened. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, they told an intern, hey, find some famous alumni from this school that we're broadcasting for. All right. So, Yeah, go ahead. What are some of the stats that you got, Drew, that stood out right now?
All right. I'll just go back and forth with these. For Loyola, they are 12 of 29, 41.4% from the field. Talladega is 7 of 30, 23.3% from the field. 3-point line. Loyola is 5 of 14, 35.7% from the arc. Talladega is 2 of 16, 12.5%, Brian. From the charity stripe, Loyola is 7 of 13, 53.8%. That's not good. And Talladega is not too much better. They're only 5 of 9 for 55.6% from the charity stripe. Turnovers are even at 8 points off of those turnover favor Loyola 3-2. Rebounds, you would think Loyola will be out rebounding Talladega by a lot more than they are, but they're only out rebounding them by 6 right now, 26-20. Offensive rebounds are even at 8. That difference of 6 is on the defensive board, 18 versus 12. Loyola with 7 assists. Talladega, a team that usually has a lot of assists, only has 4 at this point in time, Brian. Finally got Talladega leading in a statistic, and that would be in the blocks department, 2-1. Steals favor Loyola, 5-2. Fouls, Loyola's committed 9 fouls, Talladega 8. Talladega does have 2 more points off the bench with an 8-6 advantage. As second chance points, excuse me, second chance points. Talladega's up. Loyola is up 6-3. And Brian, points in the paint. Loyola has 12. Talladega 8. And final stat that I have for you: fast break points favor Loyola 6-2. Thus, just looking at those stats right there is why Loyola is up by 15, Brian.
It doesn't, when you look at the stats, they don't scream 15 points. This game looks like a 15-point, but a big part of that is that 13-0 run.
23% from the field to 41% from the field screams double-digit lead.
Well, yeah, that's where I was going to go. Five baskets. 3 of those baskets were 3-pointers. So that's 9 points right there. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that's and then you air. I mean, the free throws. Neither team is shooting all that great. I mean, Loyola's 7 of 13. Talladega's 5 of 9. But both teams have had nearly identical number of attempts, but 5 baskets. That's what we're talking, Drew. We're talking 5 buckets, 3 of them from behind the arc, and we're talking that drought. So if I had to sum this game up, Drew, that 7-minute stretch in the first quarter or first half is the difference in the ball game, really. I mean, if you think about it, yes. I mean, that's about – I mean, the difference in 5 baskets with 3 3-pointers, I mean, that's 9, 11, 13. What I say that run was? That's a 13-0 run, yes? That was a 13-0 run in that 7-minute stretch. That's the difference in the ball game right now, you know? Yeah. And so, it is what it is.
Yeah. Daryl Baker leads the way for Talladega. 2 of 7 from the field, 6 points. Cameron Bryce also with 6 points for Talladega. Your leading assist man or Edwin Lewis with 2, and Javay Green with 2. Leading the way with rebounds are going to be Daryl Baker with 5 and Amir Yusuf with 4. Also chiming in with 4 rebounds for Talladega is Cameron Reese. Leading the way for Loyola, Zach Reitzel with 10 points. Brandon Davis with 7 points. Miles Burns and Terry Smith Jr. both with 5 points. Miles Burns leads the way with 9 rebounds. Reitzel with 7 on his way to another double-double. And Brandon Davis with 5 rebounds. Reitzel also leads the way in assists for Loyola with 3, and add 2 more assists from Brandon Davis. So those are your major individual statistics right there, Brian. Talladega has played 10 players thus far versus Loyola, who has gone 90.
Mm-hmm.
So, now it's about time for Coach Wright to make some adjustments. And now if it's me and I get with my coaches there, Brian, what I'm looking to do right now is what I like to call speed the game up by slowing the game down. And if you don't, for people who may not understand what I'm talking about, who are not deep into the basketball coaching strategies, it's obvious right now that Talladega cannot get up and down with Loyola and compete with them in transition. So what you have to do is you have to slow down Loyola's attack. That is when you go to things such as a half court trap, pick up just on the other side of half court, and force Loyola to do things that they may not be comfortable with, and take time off of the shot clock. That may be going to a 3-2 zone or something along that line, and forcing Loyola to slow the tempo down. By slowing the tempo down, you get them out of their rhythm, you force them into long jump shots, and then you're able to get those rebounds, and then you're able to get out in transition and possibly score. That's what I mean by speeding the tempo up, by slowing the game down. From an offensive set, you have to make sure that you maximize every possession right now, especially between now and the first media time out. You start inside out. You got to get the ball inside. See if you can get some fouls and actually make the free throws, because the next easiest way to chip into this lead is from the free throw line. That way you can score when the clock is not running.
Well said. I know they're talking to Coach Wright right now. Be interested to. I don't know if are you on closed caption? Are you able to hear kind of what he's saying?
See if I can turn those on.
So there you go with some stats there. Talented Daryl Baker, only 6 points, averaging 17 a game. Reitzel from Loyola, 10 and 7. He's a double magnet. Interesting that they point out Talladega's 3-point shooting. I would just point out field goals overall.
Let's see what strategy Coach Wright came up with at the half. Now, great drive, get it to the bucket, but you've got to be able to convert those. And let's go back to 7th grade basketball. You got to use your left hand on that. And then consequently, you come down and you give up the bucket. 4-point swing right there.
Yeah. Defensively, I'm not happy with what I saw defensively there. You got the two bigs that appeared to be mixed up with one another on the. Oh wow!
I don't know what just happened right there.
Right, it kind of looked like he might.
Like it just fell out of his hands.
Come on, you can't watch. It's bad enough he makes that play. It's over helping. I mean, 35 is over helping. And I don't understand why he's over helping.
Yeah, the ball just slipped out. Ball just slipped out of his hand, Brian. I watched the replay on my TV. Okay. The ball just slipped out of his hand. He was expecting the contact, never got it.
Yeah, that's a bad thing when you start expecting contact. Numbers, you got to finish here. There you go. Go to the basket. You got to slant. You got to get one in.
Yes. Got to see the ball go into the basket a couple of times if you're Talladega. Great Euro step right there. Doesn't look like Talladega is going to be able to slow down Loyola. transition defense is terrible right now for Talladega. You got to get a timeout, Coach, right? Looks like Brian is frozen up there. Any type of bucket that you can get right now, if you're Talladega, you've got to be able to put it in. So, sooner or later, Talladega is going to have to put a series of stops together in order to get back into this game. At this point in time, you cannot trade buckets. You know, your first goal was to be able to do something before the first media time out, but doesn't look like that is going to happen right now, as Talladega is not doing it. Once again, looks like everybody's waiting on somebody else to rebound. No one from Talladega is trying to get the rebound. You got to send 5 to the boards if you're Talladega. And with that timeout on the floor, let's also take a break. You're watching the Talladega Watch Party right here on the Black College Sports Network.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
The top HBCU programs in the nation come to Montgomery, Alabama's Riverwalk Stadium this May 11th through 14th for the Black College World Series. The best Black college baseball teams in the NCAA Division II and the NAIA will battle for Black baseball's ultimate prize. Games will be streamed live at www.mybcsn.net. Tickets are available now online at www.blackcollegechampionships.com.
Bounty versus the old family dish towel. Drying with a fresh sheet of Bounty leaves your hands cleaner than a used dish towel that can carry and redistribute food residue. So ditch the dish towel for better hand hygiene. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes. Never not working. Ever not working. Never ever not working. Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield, never not working.
Every time I open one of these bottles, I hear trumpets and big band music. The Creole seasoning is a sodium-free and sugar-free blend that's versatile enough to put on anything. One of the first blends I developed more than 8 years ago, the Creole seasoning has an unmistakable aroma, a bold flavor, and a little heat for character.
Since 2002, empowerment.
All right. We're back to live action. Talladega's down, but they were down 19. Cut it to 16. See if my producer can get that echo out my ear. And as a turnover, this is what Talladega needs to be able to get back into this game. Oh, that is not what you need if you're Talladega. You got to convert opportunities like that. Loyola continues to out-rebound Talladega. Great hustle there by Talladega to get back and try to save this possession. Talladega looking for a score of any kind right here. Had a man down there on the box. Cannot be selfish right now. Oh. Talladega cuts it to 14. That would be a 5-0 run for Talladega coming out of the timeout. Talladega's starting to get the 50-50 balls. That's one of the things that you have to do if you're Talladega at this point, is to be able to get some of these 50-50 balls that are out there. And looks like we got to be a timeout. We're gonna take one also as we try to get Brian back in here. You're watching the BCSN Game Time Watch Party right here on the Black College Sports Network.
Resources Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Talladega's on a 5-0 run as they try to inch into this lead that Loyola has built, down 14. You had the big switch it out, so you had the mismatch down to the post that Loyola was looking to take advantage of right there, and the guard trying to get position, had a foul called on him. It's turnover there by Loyola. Can Talladega make a run? That would be an 8-0 run thus far by Talladega. Ball remains with Loyola into the cheap seats. Talladega's continue to stick with what they do well. It's another block for Talladega. There's a timeout called by Loyola right there. It's about to be a 3-second call. So, we'll stay right here. Baker now with 14 points for Talladega. Leading the way for Talladega. Leading the way for Loyola. Zach Reitzel with 10 points. I believe those are the same 10 points that he had at halftime. Correction. Terry Smith now leads the way for Loyola with 11 points. Baker for Talladega is 5 of 11 from the field, 2 of 2 from the charity stripe, 2 of 5 from behind the arc for 11 points. The thing you have to watch out for if you're Talladega are those 3 fouls on Daryl Baker, who is the leading scorer for Talladega College. Talladega College located about 45 miles east of Birmingham, Alabama. Their mascot is the Tornadoes. Talladega Liberal Arts College located in Alabama. Just going to put this back into play. See if Talladega can come down and find himself another bucket right here. 3 would be better than a 2, but we'll take anything we can right now if you're a Tornadoes fan. That's what I'm talking about. There's another 3-point attempt by Talladega. Those same threes that were not falling in the first half are now falling for Talladega. Still got to do a little work on that interior defense. And if you notice, Talladega has slowed the ball down a little bit on offense, trying to maximize their possessions. Baker. Hey, they're picking it up on defense. You need plays like that. Offensive foul right there. That's Miles Burns with that offensive foul. Just make sure if you Talladega, you cannot get 3-point happy. You want to take rhythm shots. Still not the time to force anything because you got to get good possessions. Looks like I think we're going to a media timeout. And we are. So we're going to do the same here. You're watching the Talladega Watch Party right here on the Black College Sports Network.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora. as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
The top HBCU programs in the nation come to Montgomery, Alabama's Riverwalk Stadium this May 11th through 14th for the Black College World Series. The best black college baseball teams in the NCAA Division II and the NAIA will battle for black baseball's ultimate pride. Games will be streamed live at www.mybcsn.net. Tickets are available now online at www.blackcollegechampionships.com.
All right, we're back to live action. Brian had to go into the locker room for a little bit of a adjustment there, it looks like. But he's back now. Did you do the Paul Pierce and have the wheelchair take you to the locker room, then come running back on the court, Brian?
I had to go. I had to go put out some fires, Drew. I had to let some folks know what's going on is not acceptable. Got to do a little bit better than what I'm seeing out here. So I see things are starting to. Well, you know, it could be me now. You know.
We might need you to disappear again. Yeah,
look.
You were gone. We down to single digits. Now it's back to double.
Yeah, if Loyola scores a couple buckets, I may have to leave for good.
Gonna leave you here by myself, brother.
What I miss? Anything?
Talladega went on a nice run there. I believe it was like a 10-0 or 11-0 run there for a moment. Then Loyola's gotten a couple of buckets, but Loyola's only scored 4 points since that first time out there by Chris Wright. Loyola had 44. It was 44-25 at that point, and now Talladega's cut it to 48-39.
What was the call right there just a second ago, Drew?
Let me see if I didn't see it. I'm trying to go back and watch the replay. No, I don't have it.
See what I can find here on the play-by-play.
Great first layup there, Brian. Another three-pointer.
That's a big
for
shot.
Talladega.
That's a big shot. Down to 8.
Yeah, that Markel Williams with that one right there.
Well, you know.
Looks like that forced Loyola to call a timeout.
Wow.
That has got to be a confusing floor on that side, Brian.
I just noticed that. I just noticed the different colors going on there.
Yes. You know, that's one reason that college basketball is doing away with the difference three-point line from men to women, where they're going to make everyone shoot from the international line in college, at least on the NCAA. Junior college and NAIA have not adopted that rule yet, but NCAA definitely has. I believe in NAIA, the men are shooting from the international line, where the women are still shooting from the college line of 20 feet 9 inches.
I noticed, Drew, they
No,
just
correction.
showed those.
Correction. Yeah, 20 feet 9. Go ahead, Brian.
They showed the. Oh, okay. So I see what it is down there in that corner. It's that skyline. It's the outline of the
Yes.
city that's in the corner.
Yes.
Okay, I was wondering. I saw blue, and then I saw. I didn't know what was going on in the corner there. Well, the 3-point shot has been a big equalizer right now. So all of a sudden, Talladega has found their stroke. Oh, that's a tough miss. Good transition defense right there. Everybody's got to be sprinting back. All 5 guys.
As I started buffering all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's amazing how this game.
I'm not sure if it's going to come back up, but Talladega hit a 3-pointer to cut it down to 5. And Brian, we've been around Coach Wright enough. We've seen Talladega play that he's good for making halftime adjustments. As they cut it down to 5 points.
Loyola got a bucket. It's up to 7. There's a media timeout. So let's step away for a minute. There's a media timeout. 7:29 to play in the contest. Talladega's down by 7. They're on a roll. They're rolling. Let's step away. We'll be back in just a moment. You're watching the BCSN Game Time Watch Party of the NAIA National Championship game.
Versus the old family dish towel. Drying with a fresh sheet of Bounty leaves your hands cleaner than a used dish towel that can carry and redistribute food residue. So ditch the dish towel for better hand hygiene. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head & Shoulder Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes. Never not working. Never not working. Never ever not working. Head & Shoulder Scalp Shield, never not working.
Every time I open one of these bottles, I hear trumpets and big band music. The Creole seasoning is a sodium-free and sugar-free blend that's versatile enough to put on anything. One of the first blends I developed more than 8 years ago, the Creole seasoning has an unmistakable aroma, a bold flavor, and a little heat for character.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together we can be the change.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the court...
Mute.
All right, coming back, our score, Loyola leading Talladega 52-45. I believe we have one more. Will we have one more media timeout, Drew?
I believe so. I believe we, unless, yeah, because I don't think they do where they take it away when you call a timeout in NAIA like they do with NCAA. I believe we've got one under 6.
Okay.
Don't quote me on
These are
that, though.
crucial. That's got to be a jump ball. That had to be a jump ball. How's that not a jump ball? Oh, offensive rebounding. My gosh. You can't give a team second and third chances. That's what happens when you do. Jiminy. Good bless.
17-8 offensive rebounds, Brian. They're doubling them up on the offensive board.
Yeah, and the bad part is now all of a sudden Loyola is getting hot from outside the arc.
Talladega had 2 3-pointers at the half. They now have a total of 8. That means they hit 6 threes in this half, Ryan. They're 6 of 10 in the half from behind the arc.
Oh.
That's not good.
Yeah, now you down 12 now. Good move by Baker. Way to be there to attack the glass right there. You know, the thing about this point in the game, Drew.
Ooh, that hurts.
I was just about to say the number of possessions start getting fewer and fewer now.
Yes.
And so every one of them means so much more. And when you're down 13 points, see what I mean? That was a good offensive possession, but I thought that was maybe a bad shot there. Foul from behind.
That one, I think that was a little bit of a bailout right there. A little bit out of control.
Yeah, but you hit him from behind. You wouldn't have called that?
Let's see if we can see it again on the replay. They're not going to go to the replay on that.
What do we say, Drew, that Talladega or that Loyola, they formerly were in the GCAC? How long ago was that when they were in the GCAC, you recall?
I know they were there when the GCAC was formed in the 80s. Don't know quite when they left. See if I can find that information.
It would just make sense with natural rivals like Dillard and Xavier.
Correct.
And now the only one that's left from the New Orleans area is Dillard.
Correct. Loyola joined the GCAC. I was a little bit off in 95, 96, and then they left in 2010 to the Southern States. Listen to some of these teams that were former members of the GCAC, Brian. Belhaven in Jackson, Mississippi. They were an inaugural member, also a member in 2002, 2003. They left in 2000, and they from 81 to 2000, and then again from 2002 through 2010. Emma Waters, we know, is leaving the conference. This is their last year in the conference. Louisiana College, inaugural member, left in 2000. LSU Shreveport was there from 2000 to 2010. We already said Loyola from 95 to 2010. University of Mobile, Brian, 85 to 2010. Suno came in 86, left in 2019. They will be rejoining the conference this upcoming year. Spring Hill College, inaugural member, 81, and left in 2010. Talladega was there from 99 through 02, and then again from 11 through 21. Voorhees, Brian, was in the GCAC from 2013 through 2015. William and Carey was an original member from 81 through 2010. And Xavier University of Louisiana was there from 81 until 2021, Brian. So future members of the GCAC are Oakwood University and in Huntsville, Alabama, Wiley College in Marshall, Texas. Current members of the GCAC and Southern University New Orleans in New Orleans. Current members are Dillard University, New Orleans, Louisiana, Fisk University in Nashville, Tennessee, Philander Smith College in Little Rock, Arkansas, Rusk College in Holly Springs, Mississippi, and Tougaloo College in Tougaloo, Mississippi.
Yeah, don't get that messed up now.
Tougaloo.
Tough basket there.
Tough basket right there.
Talladega has outscored Loyola 30 to 26 in this half, but again, they're trying to make up for it. Right, I was going to say 15-point deficit is what you're trying to make up for. Oh man, tough call.
You know, maybe the one thing that may help them if they get into the fouling game, Brian. Loyola's only 9 of 17 from the free throw line, so maybe Loyola may be able to give some points back at the free throw line, and Talladega may get into an opportunity to go, 3 for 1 or 3 for 2 as they've gone to a break. I guess we could keep it right here, Brian.
Okay, sure. Let's go through a few stats currently as we have them. You just pointed out the free throw stats. Talladega 7 of 11 at the free throw line. Loyola 9 of 18. Field goals. Loyola has shot 8 more shots. They are 23 of 56. That's 41% from the field. Talladega's 18 of 48, 37.5. 3-point line. What did Talladega? Talladega had what? 2 threes in the first half.
They were 2 of 14 at the half.
Yeah. Now they're 8 of
2 of
24.
They were 2 of 12. They were 2 of 12 at the half. 2 of 12.
I thought it was even worse than that. I thought it was like 2 of 16. But anyway,
2 of 12.
8 of 24 right now. Loyola is 7 of 20. Both teams in the same mark in terms of turnovers, 15 to 14.
I'm gonna tell you what the difference is, Brian.
Total rebound.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I was going to go.
Oh my God.
42
that's
to 27.
not what I was going to. That wasn't the stat I was going to, but that is a very telling stat. I've got 3 for you.
Go ahead.
Points off turnovers. Loyola's up 12 to 8. Second chance points, Brian. Second chance points. Loyola 15 to 3.
That's significant. That's 12 points right there.
Points in the paint, 30-18.
Wow, that's significant. Yeah, that's
those are the most telling stats right there.
Oh my gosh.
Loyola's hands are quicker.
Everything is quicker right now.
Jump ball right there. Jump ball right there, Brian. You see that?
Yeah, everything right now. You talk about their hands. Everything looks quicker right now. Their feet, their hands, everything they're doing is just quicker than Talladega. And, that's what the first half was like. Again, I can't get over that 7-minute scoreless stretch where they got outscored 13-0. Big difference in the ball game right now. That period of time.
Yeah, other than that, the game's been even or has favored Talladega. But is it that what championship teams are made of, Brian? They put that 1-2 runs on you.
Look at that
That's
offensive
just tough right
rebound.
there. That's tough right
ridiculous.
there. You had the ball in your hand.
Air ball. That was an air ball that just ended up in the other guy's hands. Watch the air ball. You got to come up with that. 23's got to come up with that. The ball, 2 hands. He's doing a good. He's so focused on the box out. His hands aren't ready to grab that rebound. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, hey, that's easy. No, that's not easy at all. But man,
back to 15,
you got to come
Brian.
up with that. Yeah, it's getting. Now it's as Lawrence Q had said earlier. Now it's getting out of hand.
Yeah,
and I think whatever run Talladega had, I mean, they had it to 8 for a second, Drew. Right? They had it to 8. I don't know if it's going back that way. Not now.
Oh,
wow! Jeez, that would have been ball game. If he knocks that down, that's ball game. That's got to be basket interference. No,
it was coming off.
Wow. All right. Yeah, it's
Loyola. They say it gets dark early out here. It gets late early out here, Brian.
Oh, that's tough. That's tough. That's an MVP performance right there. That if I'm not mistaken, that may be that. Gee, that's why Zach Reitzel was the player of the year in the conference right there.
18 points, 11 rebounds, double-double, Brian. Miles Burns, double-double, 17 points, 16 rebounds. And we've still got about 2 minutes remaining in the ball game, Brian. Daryl Baker for Talladega with 22 points. Brian, no one else has double digits for Talladega. Somebody has to come and play with Baker. Loyola has 4 players in double digits. Also in double digits are Brandon Davis with 13, Terry Swift Jr. with 11.
Yeah, it's been a good run by Talladega, man. Got good game, good effort. This has been a good one, but it's you can get ready to send them to the showers. Yeah. Let's see what they pull up as the play of the game. Just a random steal by Reitzel. What was that in the first half? No, that's second half.
Second half, yeah.
Yeah, they found something and put it in there.
Yeah. Hey, Brian, although we're not going to officially release it until Sunday, I guess we can go ahead and unofficially crown Talladega as our BCSN NAIA National Champion, Brian. I think the computers are going to go favorable for them on this particular run. That
without a doubt. I mean, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, they went 5-1 in the tournament here.
Yeah, 5-1 in the tournament. I mean, they're going to have 6 losses on the season, 4 of them to the same team.
Yeah.
So, and obviously, there's no secret that Jackson State women will be our Division I women's champion. Now, the other 4, we have to wait for the computers to see what they come up with.
Oh, man.
Now, Coach Brian, I've got to ask you this. Oh, they called the foul before he completed the dunk. Brian, 17 points, just over a minute to go. Is this the point in time where those 2 or 3 players who are at the end of the bench who did not play, you go ahead and let them get on the court to say that they've been on the court for the championship game, or do you just continue to roll with what you've been doing and hope for a miracle?
Yeah, I don't think you're going to make up 17 points in a minute and 15. Not the way Loyola's playing. They haven't shown. You watched the same game probably longer than me, given my internet issues. Has Loyola looked like they had a chink in the armor at all? Did they look like they had a scratch on the new car? Did you see any signs?
When they debated about that 10-0 run, it looked like it, but it was just a matter of those shots that they were hitting in the first half weren't going down. They were still getting the same quality shots. They just weren't dropping. So you knew that was going to change sooner or later.
How many missed dunks is 3 gonna have today? Somebody needs to give him some strength. Tired legs, maybe.
The emotion, Brian. The emotion.
No,
and then that one wasn't even close, Brian. I mean, the ball hit under the rim.
Yeah.
That looked like me trying to dunk back in the day.
Miles, that's 23 is Zach Reitzel, 19 points, 12 rebounds. Miles Burns, right there, number 3. Check this, 19 points, 17 rebounds, Drew. That's ridiculous. 4 players in double figures for four players in double figures for Loyola. Daryl Baker is leading Talladega, and he'll probably close the night if he's not already been subbed out. 22. I guess those are some old school Loyola love.
Well, Daryl Baker's done. He's fouled out the game, Brian.
Yeah.
Yes.
This was a senior squad, man. This was Coach. We've seen these guys for the last couple of seasons. A lot of these guys, Baker, Bryce, Reese, Yusuf. I'm just going through some of the names on Talladega that I recall over the last couple of seasons. I mean, Chris Wright's got to be extremely proud of these guys. It's sad that it has not gone the way they would have hoped, but they've done a lot getting to this point, and it's got to be a tough feeling not being unable to kind of best your nemesis, But that'll be the job of the next group of Tornadoes. They'll have to come away. They'll have to find a way to get it done against this Loyola squad.
And congratulations to Coach Kevin Harrod, who's also the athletic director and women's coach there at Talladega for running a good athletic department over there, making the right hires, and athletic directors get their props too.
Yeah, there's a lot to be proud of over at Talladega. So much to be proud of. I mean, these guys have they've won championships. They've gone farther. They've gone really far, right to the doorstep, And that's the senior squad. I mean, these guys have been with Coach Wright, and he asked a lot of guys. That was one of the things I caught in that interview I had with him. He asked a lot. He demands a lot from these guys and toughness. They're guys who, as he said, they're guys who weren't able to cut the mustard, so to speak. And so we're Dega strong. Congratulations to Loyola. And congratulations to Talladega, man. You guys, Talladega College, they had a great season, and probably if this is the one team that you've that you are behind, number 2 behind. It's not a bad team to be number 2 behind, because Loyola is about as complete as we've seen. Heck of a champion. Heck of a champion. Lots to be proud about. So, big strides made by Talladega College tonight, today, this week, over the past 2 weeks. TalladegaTornadoes.com is the website. Gotta make sure I get the Twitter handle and all that stuff. At Dega Tornadoes is where you can find Talladega College Athletics on Twitter. I believe at Dega MBB is Talladega College men's basketball. So you guys who've watched, make sure you go tag them, let them know congratulations on a great season. Really, really congratulations. It's been a beautiful run by Coach Wright in Talladega. Final thoughts, Drew, as we get ready to wrap up.
Hey, you know, number 2, first runner up. Nothing to be proud, nothing to be ashamed of. I agree with you, Chuck Hunt. Talladega has nothing to lower their heads about. The 62 other teams tried to get to this spot to have the opportunity to play for the national championship. 200, and I believe the number is 246 NAIA men's programs, Brian, started out the season on this quest. Only one could get there, and that was Loyola of New Orleans. They had to beat somebody tonight. You have nothing to be ashamed of, Talladega. There are 244 other teams who wish they would have had the opportunity that you had tonight. So to Coach Chris Wright, the athletic director, Kevin Rod, president of Talladega College, and the Talladega community and the Dega faithful. Keep your head high. Be strong. We love you. And you are a fine representation of HBCU athletics.
Well said. Well said. That's going to do it for tonight. Hey, thanks to everybody who watched. Make sure you are signed in. If you watch this on Facebook, make sure to give this a like. Make sure you're signed up, subscribe to not only our Black College Sports Network Facebook page, but our SportsWrap Facebook page as well. If you're watching, watch this on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Turn on the notifications so that whenever we have shows and such, you'll get notifications. I want to remind you, go to the Jericho Broadcast Network's app on your Google or Apple Play Store. My JBN, my BCSN is where you can find us. And all of our shows can be found on the BCSN Pod Zone. Everywhere you download and listen to podcasts, just search BCSN Pod Zone. And that's where we'll put all of the shows. You can catch up from the past week. You can also, tonight's show with Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab will be up by about midday tomorrow, if not sooner. And you can go back and listen to that show along with all the other shows from the week. OG Strike Zone is tomorrow night, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern. Myself, Kofi Hemingway, Kelvin Rozier, we talk about all things related to FAMU athletics and culture. Working on some guests. Not going to say who it is, but might be related to basketball, might be related to that big game that's happening down in South Florida. Still working on it, so we'll see if it comes to fruition, but you can find it right here on the Black College Sports Network at my BCSN1. The number one is where you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. That's going to do it. Thanks to our producer, Roy. Thank you to everybody out there who's been watching. Congratulations to Talladega, national runner-up in the NAIA. What a great season. They had 31-6 final record. And congratulations to Loyola of Louisiana, the NAIA National Champ. So that's going to do it for the show. You guys be safe. Have a good night. Thanks for tuning in to the watch party. We appreciate you. Love you. Be safe and peace out.
I holla.
But stay on hard.